Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey House Pub House, the podcast. With me today is our notoriously regular co-host, Whiskey Boy.
Sup?
Sometimes he's regular, I should say, I suppose.
Better than the other two.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's been a little bit, but before that, we're going to get into our intro. We're back from our intro. Some say we never left.
It almost feels like that.
Let's see. So you've been sick for a little bit. We had a couple things to cover. I went on a Fargo trip, did some hunting while we were there, so stay tuned for that. This guy's going to be on a trip somewhere. We'll talk about that. And some wild turkey news, I think.
Yeah.
Release news.
Yep.
Depending if Dylan gets this out. If it's not news, then we're just going to talk about something that's been released. So we'll figure that out. As normal, this podcast is on video. So if you want to check us out on YouTube, feel free and subscribe. Otherwise, you can get the audio format on anywhere you get your podcast. Sometimes there's video too, such as Spotify. So feel free to watch us on that way too. But some people just love our voluptuous voice. So they only do the audio channel, but
I would too if I saw myself.
We're ugly, so either way. But before we get into anything else, I think we need to start off this podcast with a pour of something.
Liquor Boy,
what have you brought us today?
I've got the Wild Turkey Diamond Anniversary, the anniversary of Jimmy Russell being at Wild Turkey for 60 years.
Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since we've had it. That's a generous pour. Thank you.
Well, we haven't had it since... I haven't touched it since last time we had it on here, so...
Did we have this on the... Was it the Wild Turkey Distillery, dive we did?
The one with Alex?
The deep dive?
Oh, yeah.
I think we did.
We had that.
We talked about the history, the formation of Wild Turkey, and some of the other releases on there. So if you are a Wild Turkey fan, go check that episode out.
We also had it on I believe it was the 2023 review episode.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we probably did, because we didn't, I know it, yeah, at first we didn't probably enjoy it this much.
Yeah, because we didn't.
But, man, the nose on this is fantastic, and I think I remember the nose being really good.
Mm-hmm.
What's the proof on this one?
91.
And, I was talking to Lauren, buddy out in Fargo, of how as of late, I've been starting to get into a lot more lower proof, and I shouldn't even say getting into, I've been enjoying them more.
I feel after you have a lot of high proof, just constantly have a lot of higher proof stuff, you appreciate the low proof a little more than you probably did before.
Would you say the reason is not necessarily because of the flavor? Not that there's not flavor there, but maybe you've finally gotten to the point where you're more easily able to recognize certain things.
Yeah.
So it's just easier for you. Maybe you've been spending so much time on the barrel proof that's like underhand pitching to you. It's so easy to pick up notes in that. You finally kind of started picking past that.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, it smells fantastic. It's like a honeydew and vanilla and toffee.
I remember
a little bit of
first
spice
time we
to
had
it.
this, it was just very...
The cherry is there.
The cherry vanilla. That's what it was last time.
That's a lot better than I remember.
It's been 3 or 4 weeks since I've had a drink, so...
Good for you.
Well, I was very sick, so...
That's true.
That is better than I remember.
Well, you missed out on the our Hot Ones challenge that we did. We did a live stream, first ever live stream that was successful. Kind of. The quality dropped off and just died, so I apologize for that, but...
I mean, I watched it while I was sick.
Yeah, it looked good while you streamed it.
It was very, very entertaining.
Oh, thank you. I think we're going to try to do our best to have a regular live stream at least once a month. speaking of which, we were talking about maybe doing one after you get back from your trip. So why don't you kind of lead us into your trip? What are you doing?
So we're going to Kentucky.
And you didn't invite me?
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
No, I'm teasing you.
So as we're recording this, it's a Sunday night, and I leave Wednesday morning.
Man.
It's only been 2 years in the making. Because after
we've talked about this so many times.
We made episodes for when we were going to be in Kentucky last year.
Yeah.
I don't know did those ever get released?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the episodes that we did. I do have some on archive, but I think for the most part, the archived ones are not released because they were just bad.
Yeah, so I mean, we were supposed to do this last year. Some unforeseen circumstances came up, so we ended up having to cancel the trip. Unfortunately, Dylan is not able to join us this year. He had previous...
Well, I gotta go to Florida for my brother's wedding. I think we've talked about that a little bit. That's not a secret.
Okay.
I just don't have enough, PTO, budgeting, can only do so much. I can still bourbon hunt a little down there, which I'm gonna.
I've heard that Florida is actually pretty decent for bourbon hunting. So,
well, Lauren was down there, and there's a lot of stores that are museums. I'm sure we'll run into those. So hopefully we find some stuff though. And I'm not like a huge, not to make fun of anyone, but I'm not always looking for Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare stuff.
Right.
I like finding anything that's interesting at least.
Mm-hmm.
If it's good, it's good.
Right.
It is a benefit sometimes finding Eagle Rares or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I'm not going to turn those down.
If you find it for the right price,
yeah,
it's totally worth it.
So I will be doing some hunting down there, but
hopefully we'll get some bottles and videos from that.
Yeah. I think you're going to try to do some shooting down there, maybe.
Yep.
So let's see. Let's just touch base on some of the highlights. We're not going to go through all of this.
There's a lot. So,
but like, what are you looking for? You're not doing the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, right?
Nope. That was this week.
Of time recording, which is Sunday.
We are going to be there during Bourbon and Beyond, which is a music festival in Louisville. I didn't actually know that we were going to be there at the same time until I think last week. So we weren't able to get tickets, which I mean they were ridiculously expensive anyways.
How much are they?
$300-$400. It's a festival, so there's
how many days are those?
I believe this is 3 days.
Okay, so $100 a day. So
well,
you want
there's
to go
different packages.
Sure.
So you can just do one day, whatever.
I was hearing at the Bourbon Festival this weekend. I didn't actually see it, so I don't know if this was confirmed, but the high rye bakers might have been.
I heard that too.
But I do really want one of those.
It's possible that we can get one for you.
Sorry, I'm derailing you.
So we're not going to Bourbon and Beyond, which is fine. It's just how it goes. But we're going to. We have 7 different distilleries that we're having tours at. Buffalo Trace, obviously.
You and a couple of them there.
Yep.
Right.
We've got 3 different tours there. I mean, they only offer 3. Hard Hat.
Pompeii?
Old Taylor tour.
That's a Pompeii one, right? I think.
Yes, yeah. I think. And then just the regular Trace tour. So where we're staying, we're actually staying very close to Buffalo Trace.
They're squatting in the parking lot.
Yeah. So every morning we're going to go and, wait in line as a bunch of taters. Get our daily allotment of whatever, which we're hoping, it seems like every 2 weeks, they've been dropping Single Oak Project.
Dude, I would love to try one.
And they're all different batches. It's all different stuff every time. So we're hoping timing's right. We'll get Single Oak Project, or there's been Weller Full Proof.
Maybe cool.
Blanton 375s. Just, they've been releasing some wild stuff.
I mean, it is Bourbon Heritage Month.
That's why
it's the time to do it.
It is.
Well, that's going to be really cool. What are you doing at Turkey?
We're going to Wild Turkey. We have a tour. Hopefully, we will get the 70th anniversary edition of Wild Turkey.
And that was a little bit of the Wild Turkey news I was foreshadowing at. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't heard it, they're doing a 8-year 101 proof. It is a commemoration of Jimmy Russell's 70th anniversary at Wild Turkey. And so as now we are sipping on his 60th. So to get his 70th, I think he's currently the oldest living consecutive working distiller in the world.
Something like that.
So that's pretty sweet. And his son and grandson are also heavily involved.
Mm-hmm.
Evidence of that is the commemorative release of the Generations that we have not been able to try, but heard amazing things. And then those hats. I love the hats. I want the hat. I'd love to get that signed by Jimmy. You guys do me a solid and get a hat signed and maybe a bottle.
We will do our best. So, just a little side note on the 60th anniversary edition. This is a blend of 13 to 16 year. This is some old turkey.
It's good.
They're only doing an 8-year for the 70th anniversary. I just wonder what the thinking behind that is.
I don't know. Availability probably is one. Affordability, because what is this, like a $60 bottle?
55.
Yeah, I thought maybe I was high on that. So bigger release. I think it's nice to have a wide availability release that everyone can get it to.
Right, and it will be distributed, I think, nationally, as far as I know.
Yeah, I would love to have just an age-stated Wild Turkey. Really the only 8 years now are from the 90s, early 2000s that you really find, and those are crazy money. I know that the 101s are rumored to be around 7 years, so it's not a change necessarily, but you never know. They might be different.
It could just be, a really good batch they have.
Yeah. But, each their own. Everyone's going to have their own thing there. I know people love the Jack Daniel's McLaren bottles, and that's not anything different, but respect that. That's the thing they like to collect, and you can't be mad at them.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing at Wild Turkey. Hopefully we're going to meet Jimmy and be able to get a signature. And,
Jimmy!
Where else? We're going to Maker's Mark.
Doing a tour.
Cool. We're going to go to pretty much every distillery that we can.
There's going to be so much to do. So much. You guys are going to be doing a lot of stuff.
A lot of days.
You guys had to cut out the Tennessee portion of the trip.
The entire part.
Which I completely understand. There's so much to do already in Kentucky.
Yep.
From vintage bars to, the distilleries, of course.
Yeah. I've got a full list of all the distilleries.
Mm-hmm.
Even even the craft. We're going to go to the craft distillers. We're going to get that small stuff. We're going to go.
That Pursuit United.
We are going to go to Pursuit.
I wanted him to go there. I'm a little.
No, we're
I think
going.
you guys will enjoy that. I think.
No.
Everything's
I've done my research.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Pursuit, and I'm excited.
We'll let them know that there's another fellow podcaster in their midst with a vast quantity of listeners.
Yeah, for sure. They might get a little intimidated.
Shameless plug. Please follow us on wherever you get your podcast, or if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe,
or
please.
Instagram.
Leave us a comment, like us, if you value any of this commentary.
Yeah. Jim Beam, Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to the Jim Beam? What's the micro distillery they have? The Booker's. What's the small distillery they have now? It's escaping my mind.
Is it the one in Louisville?
I don't know.
There's the Evan Williams experience.
No. It's the.
That's Heaven Hill, isn't it?
Isn't it the? Yeah, that's Heaven Hill. You need to get that checked out.
Yep.
No, isn't it the Booker's distillery? What am I thinking of?
It could be. I'm gonna say no because I don't know what you're talking about, and I have gone over this trip in my head about 50 different times in the last 12 hours.
The other book, that Booker's batch came out.
The Infinity.
And then the other one too. The more normal one.
Just the.
Which one is that one?
Is it the 03 for this year?
No, I thought it was a different one. Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Because there's the Little Book Infinity that just came out.
Yeah, the Booker. Oh, maybe. I am not sure what I'm trying to think of. I think somebody knows.
Might be crazy.
No, there's a micro distillery that Booker's grandson is running.
Okay.
But it's escaping me right now. I know they have a small experimental craft distillery, they call it, where they're doing a lot of cool exploratory things. But it's escaping me, so never mind. I won't continue down my
rant
that I don't remember.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to Jim Beam. We're gonna do the Evan Williams experience in Louisville. And then we're also doing a Heaven Hill tasting, and I think it's a tour.
Sure.
But
we the experience center or at the actual
distillery.
So where is the actual distillery? Because I mean they're distilling at Bernheim.
Yeah.
So you're not going to the Bernheim location.
No.
This is the previous.
It's called the Heaven Hill.
The one that caught
experience,
fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think. Pretty sure.
Well, the experience isn't it on Main Street?
No, that's the Evan Williams experience.
Isn't that what you just said?
No, the Heaven Hill experience thing.
Never mind.
So we do that. I believe it comes with the tasting and a tour, and then we get to bottle our own bottle.
That'll be awesome.
So either barrel proof, Elijah Craig, Larceny, or Bernheim. And then they, from what I've heard, they have a special something for that day or month or whatever.
They rub your belly button.
I would love that.
Kiss your forehead.
So we'll get to bottle our own of that.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go hunting a lot.
Of course. Well, that should be fun. He's gonna do a lot of shorts, I think.
I'm gonna try
for the YouTube. So if you are seeing this now, and go check out his shorts and see, maybe you can kind of shadow him a little bit and see how that trip's following.
I will also be doing some on Instagram as well, posting stories and
check that out.
Reels, I think they're called. Yeah, and we're gonna go just experience Kentucky.
Yep.
We're gonna go to all the towns, Bardstown.
He's
Louisville.
gonna get a hot brown.
Yep, we're gonna go to the Brown Hotel, get a hot brown.
Get a hot brown. A couple hot browns.
Thanks, Steve, for that one. For the recommendation.
These hot browns are bussin'.
Bussin'.
As the kids say.
Lexington, all those different towns.
Sure. Well, that should be cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully we'll bring home some nice bottles.
I hope so. And check it out here, because we're going to do a follow-up on that trip and see what he hauled in for us to try.
That'll be a fun haul.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of the first half of what we're talking about today. So I did, because I was not invited, which deeply hurts me to the core.
Rip.
Please like this if you feel bad for me. No, they didn't invite me. But I did do a trip just today. I got back. Because you're going on that trip, we had to film 7 Deadly Sins for...
Diddly Sins.
7 Diddly Sins. I think that's one of them.
7 Deadly Sins of bourbon.
I don't know why my speech impediment is at all-time high right now, which I don't even really have one, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I'm dying.
It's very possible.
I need sleep. But I just got back from a trip, and we just recorded the 7 Deadly Sins that the Bourbon Note, shout out to them, put us up to. So check that video out. Hopefully it should be out already. But anyways.
Check out Bourbon Note's video too.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
You probably already know them if you follow us. Unless you're my grandma. Hi, Grandma. Let's see. So
how was Fargo?
Yeah, I was in Fargo visiting some friends and family. And we did a little bourbon hunting because, different markets, see different things.
North Dakota, I've heard, is pretty good.
Yeah, I was thinking it was September, so maybe if I time this out right, we can find some cool stuff.
Bourbon.
I know. Lauren's got a birthday bourbon. I love that. I should have tried it. I didn't want it.
Which I don't understand.
He didn't have much left. I know I would like it. I kind of knew what to expect. I didn't want to take that away from him. I already tried.
Oh, but you'll drink my barrel proof.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. He had some other good stuff that I tried. He had the Claremont stuff that I gifted him that I was never able to try.
That he also already had.
Yeah, but he didn't have the box apparently or the papers. So at least he got some value.
Side note, they had that at the distillery yesterday. The full Claremont? Set? Yeah.
Oh, full bottles or the three?
Just
three-pack?
the 3-pack.
So here, you want to put that over there? So the first thing I got, In Fargo, we're doing some hunting, and we came away with some Buffalo Trace White Dog Mash Bill wine.
Tater.
Yep. I should have bought some more of these. I wanted to get some, and this is escaping me. There's a barrel company that is doing some cool stuff with stainless steel and wood that's imitating a full-size barrel. And I'm trying to remember for the life of me what it is called. But, we got some of those. I was going to do some barrel experiments maybe. Those are 125 proof versions.
Hot.
They're hot. So I'd probably water them down to, 115 before I put it into a barrel.
Have you tried it before?
I have not tried it. We might have to. Do you want to do it on this?
I have had it before, and I do not need to have it again.
What does it taste like?
Butterscotch and corn.
That kind of makes sense. Oh, I found it. So, Bad Motivator barrels. Randall's done podcasts with them.
Okay.
He's done a giveaway on his live stream of like a big one, like a 5-gallon. But they do
a big one.
A big one. It might have been bigger. I think it was a 5-gallon though. But they do these.
Where are they out of?
West Coast, North Pacific.
Okay.
Pacific Northwest. West. But it's kind of cool. It's saying essentially a cylindrical vessel, stainless steel, but the front is wood with a tap. And yeah, so I mean, you can kind of see, the viewers can't see, but Liquor Boy can see.
Interesting.
So they do a bunch of different ones, American oak, used oak. They do beer finished ones, a wide variety. So go check out Bad Motivator barrels. Go check those guys out. They're doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more, go to Whiskey Shaman, check out his podcast that he'd had with one of the founders. But I want to get enough of these mash bill ones and maybe the small barrel that they have. And we can kind of make our own. Other people have done it, but I don't know if I've seen it with a Bad Mo barrel where it actually is better at mimicking a full-size barrel.
Right.
And then, I don't know, we'll keep it in my car or something because that'll imitate a rick house in the summer and in the winter.
You know what? We could keep it over across the street at work.
I suppose. We'll figure it out. Anyways, if you're our boss and watching this, we didn't do that.
Nope.
So
what else did you find?
Yeah, this is the first thing I came up with. And we just don't get these in Minnesota. They're not super hard to find, but
I will be trying to pick up the other mash bills down in Kentucky also. So we can do a comparison of them.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just something interesting.
Yeah. The other thing is we're going up, so it's gonna stick around till the end because this will get pretty cool. Maybe. Next thing is the Jim Beam Bonded. I have not had this, nor have we really come across this in the Minnesota market.
I've never heard about it until you told me about it.
I've seen it one other time, I think 2 years ago when I was in Fargo previously. Obviously, I got this. I want to do a bottle and bond off at some point with as many bottle and bonds that we can find readily available, even maybe some craft brands, but for sure the common ones. So I had to get this one up. It was like $23.
I mean, you have
super
to for
affordable.
that price.
That's what I got. So that's pretty much that. Otherwise, let's see. What else did I get?
What about some of the bottles that Lauren got for you?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll grab that next. The other thing is that I found in Fargo is a Ben Holiday red soft wheat, the barrel proof version.
Rickhouse proof.
Excuse me. Not a single barrel. I'm looking forward for this one. So you want to try this?
I would love to.
I took it off. It is a screw cap, so you did not hear the cork pop.
So, in my research for our Kentucky trip, that's good. I have done a lot of whiskey tube watching, and particularly TJ over at Bruzel.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. This is the proof on this is 60.05. It is aged 6 years.
So 120 point something.
Correct.
So TJ over at Bruzel, I've watched his videos over and over again.
You know, he's the biggest whiskey tuber now.
I know. I
didn't know that until
just heard that
recently.
I don't know. I mean, you've probably never watched this, but if you have, love your content. Love the hunting videos. But he's done multiple picks with them. He's done videos with them. He talks about them so much. I'm really excited to try it because this is the one that he always talks about and recommends.
I got this for retail. This was about $70, mid-70s, mid to low. The regular one you can get for around $50. If you have not had those, go get those. Bottle and Bonds, pretty affordable. Just solid ones. If you like Kentucky bourbon, you're probably going to like these. These are very similar profile.
Yeah, so they're out of Missouri.
Mm-hmm. But the Rickhouses are very similar to Kentucky style. They're just a little smaller in comparison to the big boys. And that turns out to make some really good bourbon that's very similar to the Kentucky stuff that is harder to find sometimes. I think the quality for this is like, I don't know, this is on par with some Taylor stuff.
I'd be curious to try this against the barrel proof.
I should say it's not the profile. It's just, I think it competes. It's just flavorful.
I can see that. That's very good.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
I'm going to have to get me one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I haven't seen the Rickhouse proofs here. I have seen one single barrel, but
I've seen the Rickhouse proofs here, but
sure.
I just haven't pulled the trigger quite yet. So what's next?
Well, next Fargo's got some Cooper Craft. We do not have those in Minnesota, so I was fortunate to find those. I could have swore that those were Bottle and Bond. For some reason, I just made that statistic or stat in my head.
So do they have like a different...
They do. There's a 90 proof.
Okay. I feel like I've seen that here before.
I don't know if you have. I feel like
it could be Wisconsin too, I guess.
Probably.
Because I hunt in Wisconsin quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I had seen it before, but that was one that I was supposed to pick up for you down in Kentucky.
I know. I took it off my list.
Now you got...
but if it's really good, I might add it back in.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
I mean, how much was it?
That was like 33.
It's worth it for, 100 proof?
Yeah. Brown Foreman juice. We'll have to do a side-by-side someday of maybe the 100 proof Old Forester and that, and see what the difference is necessarily.
Yeah.
But I've heard fantastic things about those. Those are good dailies. What else did I get? I did get from Belconis a Mirador, normal Mirador. I don't think I had those, so I picked it up. I know I had the Eclipse. I did see one more Eclipse in Minnesota today, but it was $100.
Did I get that Eclipse for you?
You did. Where
did I get that?
I think it was Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm. I love Belconis.
Belconis rye is one of my favorite ryes, just ever.
Just anything from them, really. They're all solid ones. Let's see. The last thing I got from Fargo was pretty sweet. I was happy to see this. I have not tried it. It was pretty much the top thing I found in Fargo, but I did have some other stuff that I found in Minnesota.
What is it?
It is the Maker's Mark Heart Release.
Have you had it yet?
I haven't. Oh, it's not even opened.
Well, I can't remember if you had ours yet.
I think I'm going to try it right here, right now.
I've had it. I don't need it. We've got 2 bottles of it. Well, 1 and a 16th, because...
You got a backup?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you offer it to me? Because you hate me.
Because I didn't
buy it. That's why you didn't invite me to Kentucky.
I didn't buy it, and we took it on vacation with us with a group of other
enthusiasts,
bourbon buddies, and over the course of 3 days, we drank 95% of the bottle.
Oh, it's a cork. I forgot it was.
Cork pop.
Oh, it's real cork this time. I've never seen a Maker's cork with...
Not synthetic?
No. This is 56% alcohol. I forget what these are, like a bunch of...
So it's supposed to be the new...
license plate release. Yeah, that's what they call those the license plate releases.
Like the BEP.
The BEP-11, yeah.
What else were they called?
I forget. I just know them by the license plate release. This is
Stave.
yeah.
Not Stave profile.
So this is the Steve profile. This is 10 virgin toasted French oak, and I think one of those is pretty much the same thing.
Wood finishing series. That's what it's called.
Yeah, this is super caramely. Very nice.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it was so good that we almost finished the bottle.
Yeah, it's caramel, but it's got some red fruit mid palate. Finishes kind of vanilla caramely. It's good. It's a good one. We'll see how it opens.
How much did you get that one for?
65, I think.
Yeah.
I
I
came across
seeing the
one
receipt.
in Minnesota, Prior Lake. I passed on it because it was $99. I'm like, I don't need that. And eventually I did find another one, so I'm happy with that. It's a little late. Maybe I'll do a review on it. We'll see.
They just approved the label for, I believe, next year's. And I don't remember what it is at all. Speaking of Prior Lake, I was actually down there on Friday, and I know we've had it on here before, the Devil's Tower release from Redwood Empire. Found another bottle of that.
Oh, yeah? You got it, yeah.
The first one I got was $100, and this one I got was 75, so I was pretty happy about that.
Cool. So this is not whiskey related, so I'm sorry. But please pursue through that, or persevere. This is the Foursquare Covenant X Bourbon, 18 years old. I found that in Moorhead in the Fargo trip. I'm a big rum guy. That was pretty fun to see. That was
Big rum guy.
That was a little expensive. It was like $150. Yeah, but it's cask strength. It's 18 years old. It's from Barbados.
So?
Well, I mean, they got to ship it here.
So, when your brother gets married,
yeah,
he's going to Barbados.
Right, and there are distillery exclusive ones
that's what I was going to ask.
He's going to have to get for me.
You got to convince him, man.
Oh, yeah. We better throw him a good bachelor party then.
We should record an episode at the bachelor party.
No. Some of those guys I've tried to record with, and they just, they're not
smart.
They don't sit still. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, an 18-year.
That's pretty good.
Because, I mean, how much is the 18-year Lich Craig retail?
Yeah, it's like 150.
So, I mean,
not cask strength.
That is true.
Not as good as what Zach would say, and I'm starting to agree.
Zach says that it's not that good.
He doesn't like it.
I like it. I just don't like it for the price.
Sure. Yeah, I would rather have a Covenant, I think, in hindsight now.
What do you got next?
The last thing I got in Fargo, I did not find, but I was fortunate enough to be gifted and paid. I paid for this, but I was given the opportunity for a High West Boo Rye, one of the new ones.
Oh, it is one of the new ones,
which I've heard are better than the old ones. And if we want, we could try it right now.
I think that's a good idea.
All right. Supposedly the gentleman that got me this is signed up for the High West Club. So he is able to get this shipped. And I know Fargo actually has a couple things like that. I know Jim Beam has a program like that where North Dakota is able to access that.
North Dakota is one of the 5 or 6 states that actually gets that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think Kentucky is one of them.
I've not had this.
For years I've heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had it.
Cork pop.
Just a wee bit.
This is batch number 24B20. This is 46%. Noise.
Wow, that's got a nice note. It's very subtle though.
Yeah. I'm not getting much.
There's not a whole lot there, but I like it.
Yeah. It's a lot lower than the Maker's
get a little maple on the nose.
It's kind of there on the taste. I like it. It's I did it out of order. I should have had this first, but it's pretty good.
Definitely. What proof was it?
46. There's stuff going on the whole time in the palate.
You still get that spice though, that rye spice.
For sure.
It's like the perfect amount.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had my Yippee Kaye this weekend, and that does remind me a lot of the same rye familiarity. I like that. Look for a review on this eventually.
Or a bottle of it.
Hey, that too. I'm not able to find bottles of these. The campfire is the hardest thing I find. This is more difficult for me or us to find, I think, than the midwinters even.
Oh, midwinters I can find all day when it comes out.
Right. Yeah.
The new retail for it is $175. So that being said, total will have it at $250 this year.
So the last thing, Lauren gave me this. Lauren gave me the rest of his 107. So that's pretty hype.
Lauren, I hate you.
I'm pretty happy. I'm a happy camper about that.
I would be too.
He might have felt bad that we didn't find much, but
that doesn't mean you give him a 107, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren. All right. Well, so as I was making my way back to Minnesota, I called up Whiskey Boy, the man in the chair. And I'm like, I'm leaving. I need, is there anywhere I should stop? And he's like, yep, you need to stop at Spirits with a Z.
Yep, in Melrose, Minnesota.
And the moment I got there, I realized as I stepped in the door, I'm like, I have seen this place before. And the place I had seen it was Bourbon Note. So once again, if I haven't said it already for the second time this episode, go check Bourbon Note. Note out.
As far as I know, that Ben frequents that place quite a bit.
And I had just watched their episode, I think, a couple of weeks ago at most. And that's their most popular video.
Oh,
but yeah. I had a great conversation with a gal there. We did not exchange names. But you get a lot when you walk into a liquor store and you're kind of looking around. They know for the most part that you're
looking for
you're
something.
A bourbon hunter. You're
right.
Probably a tater or something, which I don't mind being called that. I'm not calling other people that, but there's, people see you.
You're a tater.
Yep. And so she approaches me and like, can I help you? And I just said, I'm looking for interesting things. Is there any single barrels you have or locals that I should take note at? And she was gracious enough to kind of talk to me about some things, explained that the owner likes to hide bottles. So
yep.
As I was looking through, I did end up picking up a single barrel from them of Doc Swinson. This is Spirits Liquor on Melrose. So it's in Melrose.
I said that.
Oh, sorry. The entry date on this was July 12th, 2016. The poll date was July 28th, 2022. So what is that, 8 years?
No. 6.
Anyways, I'm tired. It is 55.75, so I look forward to that. If you want to try it?
No, I'm all right.
Oh, okay.
I've never gotten a Doc Swinson single barrel.
I hadn't either. Theirs was discounted. It was like $56.
Oh, that's not bad.
I thought, you know what? I found some stuff I was looking for. One other thing I found some Crown Blackberry.
Heck yeah, bro. Let's go.
This is fantastic and limited. I'll be honest. The best whiskey you like is the way you like, is the one you like, the way you like drink it. So if you drink this on the regular and that's all you drink, that's totally fine with me. This is hard to get though.
I got a bottle of it and I still have not opened it.
I love it in lemonade. That's about it. Straight, it's just too syrupy for me, but it's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I got that. I got 2 of those from that same liquor store. And while I was looking around, because I had heard they frequently hide things, I did end up coming across this. A Baumburgers.
Again.
Of this year. I just traded in Fargo. but I found that.
You traded a Bomburgers for what? Was it the Boo-Ray?
No, I just gave it to a buddy of Lauren's.
Oh, you did. Okay.
So, yep. But I kind of, I was like, hey, I got that in exchange for this one, but not really a trade. But
Right.
So that was cool. I like them.
Just a little side note before we bring out the next bottle. I have a little story about my Bomburgers that I just got.
Sure. What is it?
So at our house, we bring home bottles quite frequently. And so I had a bottle sitting on our countertop. I think I told you about this.
Sure.
I was home from work one day, sick, and I was downstairs watching TV. And it was later in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
And I go outside, and my mom's sitting out there on the porch, and she's drinking something, and I'm like, "Oh, what do you got there?" She's like, "Oh, I just made myself a whiskey and Coke." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." We've got a couple hundred bottles, so I figured, she probably just grabbed Buffalo Trace or whatever, which is fine. I go back inside, and I see a couple bottles sitting on the counter. And one of them happened to be my already opened Bomburgers from 2022.
Yeah. 2022?
2022. That, yeah. So she comes inside, and I look at her, and I'm like, "So what did you put in your Coke?"
Yeah.
And she points over to the bottles on the counter, and I'm like, "Okay, which one?" And then she points to the Bomburgers, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, you just put $150 bottle of whiskey in some Coke." She's like, "Oh." She's like, "Well, can't you find another one?" I'm like, yeah, if it was 2 years ago, maybe."
That's fun.
Uh-huh. So we have since got her some Benchmark to mix with.
Yeah, as you should.
I have to admit, it was my own fault. I left the bottle sitting on the counter.
Mm-hmm. You can't
Actually, it was on the floor, but still.
Sure.
Yeah, so that hurt because it was already, I got it from a buddy, and there was about that much left in it. And now there's about that much left of it. And I hadn't even tried it yet.
Oh, well. That's too bad.
Yeah, that hurt for a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, that QR code, you should scan that for me. I'm curious to see if it lists any mash bill or anything on it, because I don't actually know what mash bill this is. This is MGP juice, the Doc Swenson. I just opened that up.
It just brings you to their website.
All right. Well, I didn't know. I tried to figure it out.
Figure it out. So, yeah, that's where my Bomburgers went.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. If I didn't have to drive, I'd try it.
Yeah.
So what else did you get?
What else did I get? Well, I stopped in another store. What is it? Way Spirits? What was the one you sent me to?
Wayside Spirits in St. Cloud.
And they had a single barrel pick of
E.H. Taylor. Oh.
Of Yellowstone. So this is my second bottle of Yellowstone I've got.
So it's the 102 one.
It tastes pretty good.
Oh, did you try it?
I got to try it. I like trying things before purchasing them if they have a single barrel or something. So I asked the gentleman and brought me over to the counter and we sipped it. And behind him, we had a few things. We had a few things. A 1792 12-year for about $60.
How many bottles did they have?
Is that important?
A little.
They had at least 3.
And how many did you buy?
1, because I'm an out-of-tater. I'm an upstanding citizen.
How many bottles have I bought for you?
Specifically 1792?
No, just of things that you can't find.
I have not kept track.
Okay, I'll remember this when I'm down in Kentucky.
I mean, I did. In all fairness, on the record, I offered you. We'd figure something out. You could procure this from me because I did have a mostly full one. I don't drink it often. I have a lot of things. So, but for retail, I couldn't pass it up.
No, and you shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm. I didn't.
Well, yeah, like. Okay, next bottle.
The other things I didn't pass up, there was a good selection.
So, was there anything that you did pass up besides the other two?
Well, they had all the 2XOs, Gem and Kentucky.
What were those, 200 still?
Yeah, the Gem was. It might have actually been like $189, like a slight discount.
I see them around here for that still, too.
I know. I think they're going to drop off a little bit more, and then if you do want one, then buy it at a discount. Nothing really allocated heavy. I mean, Foolproof, $17.92 they did have.
Allocated.
I did come across a store that I did stop at on my way to Fargo that had a store pick of single barrel $17.92.
I picked one of those up
on
Friday also.
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't feel it. Didn't want to get it, but I was looking. They had some cool stuff. But at this specific store, they didn't really have anything else that I didn't pick up. But the other thing I did pick up was pretty sweet. Some E.A. Taylor small batch bottle and bond. I just had a thought, like, it'd be kind of fun if you owned a liquor store, because they have the tubes and they all say what they are. But like, what if you swapped them
with
just like other Taylors?
Oh, okay.
Like,
not just like
I'm not saying you have like straight rye or barrel proof and you swap them with small batch. I'm saying like you have small
put a barrel proof in a small batch.
You have small batch tubes, and then you like just have extra ones, and then you
that's too bad.
Swap them around. It is a small batch. But that'd be kind of cool, right? Like that would be a sweet surprise.
So you're saying you didn't get something like this? No? No?
Do you want to pour me some?
I don't know. Do you want to give me that bottle of 12 year?
I think we can find an agreement. Actually, I'll get a new glass. I do like that Doc Swenson. It's just MGP, but it's actually pretty caramely.
Funny story about this.
The angels sing when you open that one.
My cork broke in it. The actual barrel proof cork.
Luckily, you got a lot of small batch Taylors.
We've had quite a few, but I had to use a wine cork screw.
Oh, sure.
And get it out, and I almost cried when it broke because I really did not want to push the cork in this.
So, honorable mention before my last bottle, I did come across. Oh, and by the way, thank you for the barrel proof, Taylor.
Well, yeah. I
did at that first store that had the single barrel 1792. I did pick up a Kentucky Spirits, the Wild Turkey one, of a Camp Nelson Rickhouse.
CNE.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's true necessarily, but the Wild Turkey 101 single barrels are out at the visitor center. Supposedly the rumor is that there's a chance that the Kentucky Spirit label might be suspended in favor of the Wild Turkey private releases.
I haven't heard anything definitively.
No, I think there's just speculation.
Right.
It just seems strange. Like, why would you introduce a single barrel label in the same bottle? That's the same product, but it's not called Kentucky Spirit anymore. So
yeah.
Who knows what that's going to be necessarily?
Well, so they're also doing private select. So like the Kentucky Spirit, but they're changing it to just the regular Wild Turkey. They're also doing Rise.
That's true.
So
the
that
Rise is completely different.
Might be something.
Yeah.
Because they're also 101 proof.
Right. This Kentucky Spirit is 101 proof. And, it being Camp Nelson, those are notorious for being very good. So, not necessarily in the fear of it being discontinued for the label, but it being a Camp Nelson, I did decide to pick it up. It was retail, so that was my honorable mention. The last thing I did find at Wayside Liquors that I did pick up, I took a chance on it. Historically, I've been a little critical of this brand, of this specific release, and I have skipped a few of them, but I decided to take a chance on this one. It is the Little Book, Chapter 8, Path Not Taken, the 2024 edition. And why don't you read that off or something?
Yeah, I was going to.
Have you tried this one?
I have not. I have this one. I got it right after it came out.
Oh, the Taylor that I have in my nose, it is in my nose, in my glass right now, is so nice.
I do got to say that the Little Book box and the bottle,
the packaging
is just outstanding.
It is. But let's be honest, it's the same as the Booker's, it's just black wax.
Leave them alone. They're trying.
They are.
So this one,
They could just try harder on the whiskey, make it better. I bought this one. I'm not saying it's terrible. I bought this one. I'm just saying in general, historically, they all haven't been that good.
well, I mean, they're just different batches. So
I know.
I actually didn't know this. It has an 18-year straight bourbon in it, but it's a high rye. So technically,
it's a Boo Rye.
Technically, it's a Boo Rye.
Stay tuned for a Boo Rye episode at some point.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Oh, the Taylor's so good.
18-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, high rye. 11-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey. 7-year Kentucky straight rye malted whiskey. 5-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey. Another 5-year and another 5 years. So 4 different 5 years. I believe from different rickhouse locations.
Most likely.
One of them is a Char 4, one of them is a Char 1, and the other is a Char 4, and then a 4-year straight rye whiskey.
I was just noticing that the Yellowstone store pick was the same as the small batch Taylor, $57. Yeah, it was $53 for that 12-year, $17.92. That's a good price. I spent like $70, $75, I think, at the one in Prior Lake. My first one I got.
Some of the
So the Little Book was $173.
that's I believe that's about retail.
It should be, yeah.
I saw one for $200.
I just, historically, the way they've been, I don't know if I would spend $200 on it.
Last year's, I can't remember which one last year's was.
Well, the one before that, I think, was the brown rice whiskey.
Yeah, that's the
one I skipped, I believe.
chapter 6 to the finish. It was called.
I think I have 2 and 3 or 2 and 4. I can't see.
You've got
them.
the road home and the invitation.
Those are good. Those two,
2019 and 2021.
Those two are fantastic. I love them.
2023's is really good.
Yeah,
You've had it.
Lauren's. Yeah, I have had it. Those were all malt whiskeys, weren't they?
No,
were they not? I thought they.
No, they were all. You got to look it up.
Yeah, I have the technology. Stay tuned, audience.
This Taylor Barrel Proof. I always forget how amazing it is because I really cherish this bottle.
Right,
so I don't drink it a lot.
Unfortunately, too hard to obtain to get a second one.
Unobtainium, as TJ from Bruzel would say.
Oh, a lot of people say that too.
Well, yeah, but that's where I learned it from, so leave me alone.
Let's see. So the 2023 Chapter 7. This is from Among the Whiskey. Blend
In retrospect, that's what it was.
of 4 and 18-year straight whiskeys. Undisclosed portions of bourbon rye and malt whiskey, mash bills, 118 proof. The release is a blend of 18, 17 and 9 and 4-year-old Kentucky straight bourbons and 10 and 4 Kentucky straight ryes and a 5-year straight malt whiskey to finish in Applewood smoked barrels.
Yep, that's what it was.
SRP for that release was $150.
Okay.
Yeah, I did remember that being fairly good, but I did not trust the applewood aspect at it, especially coming off the heels of the brown rice.
Right.
But I'm looking up the SRP of this year's. But I think we're going to try that here in just a second. All right, so Breaking Bourbon says it is 160, it looks like.
Okay, so it went up $10.
Yep, 160. So I spent an extra $13.
Well,
I don't feel bad about that. Yep. Right. That's pretty good. Well, what do you think? You want to sip on it a little bit?
Yeah, let's do a little bit. Seeing as I have a bottle at home that I still haven't opened.
I think it's the Freddie No Distillery, actually.
The one in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
That does the experiments.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that.
So are you guys going to the Freddie No Distillery?
I don't think so. I mean, we could maybe... I don't know if they have like a visitor center or something there.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure all those tours were like hundreds of dollars, just a little bit.
It's definitely possible.
You can also, I believe, take a tour with them and then have dinner with them.
Yeah, I think, was that like $300 or something?
Oh, it was more than that.
Was it? I thought it was not too bad.
I thought it was like 600.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember.
Man, but it was it per person, or is that for a group?
That's per person.
Oh.
But, I mean, it's also like, the dinner would be amazing.
If it was Jimmy Russell.
That
Or Eddie. Or Eddie.
All three of them?
No, or just one of them. Talk about greedy. Talk about the 7 deadly sins. Go check that video out that we did.
Come on, I'm a wild turkey guy.
I know. Turkey.
Gobble gobble. Okay, this.
Never mind. It smells really good.
It smells like hand sanitizer.
It smells like a strengthened brew, like the High West Brew Rye. It smells like the High West Brew Rye turned up a few notches.
It does.
The rye is very dominant on the nose.
Well, I mean, it's mostly rye.
Right. Well, and there's an 18 high rye, which isn't the Knob Creek considered high rye?
I don't know, because then it would just be like Knob 18.
Or are we talking high rye in comparison to Jim Beam? Because if that was the case, then it would be Old Granddad.
I don't know.
Right. I'm speculating.
Oh.
11-year Kentucky Straight rye and a 7-year-old rye malt whiskey. We must be smelling the malt.
Yeah, I forgot about the malt.
I don't know what Kentucky style Char 4 is.
Just Char 4 barrel.
Yeah, but then there's also a 5-year-old Kentucky Straight rye Pennsylvania family style Char 1, and then the same year, but a Char 4 of the Pennsylvania.
Would that be from the Boston? No.
Pennsylvania style. I don't know what Pennsylvania is.
Boston's not in Pennsylvania.
Boy, I need some help.
We can cut that out.
It's a podcast. All right. Yeah, the nose is good. It smells there. What is the rye frequently described of? There's a plant.
Sarsaparilla.
No, it was on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, let's just go to the taste.
Whoa.
That drink's like a rye. Just 100% rye.
That's got a crazy mouthfeel.
It's a little medicinal rye. Dude, it knocks the socks off of the grain glass Heaven Hill rye.
Oh.
100%.
That is really good.
At the park. Which, for near twice the amount, it should.
Right.
But I think that's just evident how much we disliked the green glass rye.
Yeah, that was not very good.
Eucalyptus. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
I got eucalyptus on the nose and the taste.
Mm-hmm.
If you drink that, you just think it's rye, though. You can give it to someone, they would say, that's a good rye.
I would love to know the mash bill on that high rye bourbon.
You might be able to figure that out. I mean, right? It's 18 years old. It's going to be one of their normal recipes, either knob or the old granddad recipe.
Yeah.
Chances are. That's pretty fire.
That is fantastic.
So, I mean, that's what I found. A couple of different, more of the blackberry I ended up finding.
4 total.
Yeah, those are pretty good. But I think that's all I got for the Fargo trip.
Yeah.
So
I think at least the next episode I'll be in will be after the trip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully have some good stories or some good bottles.
Yep. Well, I think that's going to do this episode of the Whiskey House Pub House. Please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Follow if you're watching on Spotify or listening. And like and leave us a comment for anything you would like us to see, do, or review. But as always, we'll see you next time.
See you.
Goodbye.